Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay and see the screen okay. My name is Rory Sommers. I'm the Undergraduate Admissions Counselor for SACI Florence, and I wanted to thank you for joining me for this webinar tonight. I'm going to be talking a little bit about our programs and Florence, in general, the courses that we offer, the different times that you can come and study abroad with us. And then at the end, I would like to have some time to answer some questions that you might have. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. You should see a chat feature available to you. If you want to write questions in that chat area as they come to you throughout the presentation, please feel free to, and I'll go through and answer any questions that are there at the end. Or if any questions come up towards the end, I do plan on sticking around for a few minutes after the presentation to answer any questions that you might have at the end, and you can just go ahead and type those up. In the past, there have occasionally been some problems with that chat feature, so if you do happen to have any problems with it and nothing is working for you and I don't see your question, you do have my email address, and please feel free to send me an email at any time, whether that's tonight after the presentation or any time in the future. So again, for anybody just joining us right now, I'm going to get started with the presentation. But if you have any questions that come up while I'm talking or later on, please feel free to write them in the chat box or email me at a later date. Okay, let's get started. So we are SACI Florence. We are Studio Arts College International, so a school for art and design in Florence, Italy. We offer several different programs. Most of you should be here for our undergraduate study abroad, which is offered both during a semester and summer. So you can come for a fall semester, spring semester, full academic year, or during a short-term summer program. However, we do offer several different graduate level programs. So if you are interested in the future in a master's in fine arts, a master's in art, or a post-bac degree, you can take a look at our website and check out more information on these programs that we offer. And this itself is Florence. So Florence is this wonderful city in Tuscany in Italy that really reached a height in the Renaissance and has been a thriving place for artists to come to since then. But Florence isn't just a city known for its history, it's also a very modern city. And SACI will situate you completely into Florentine culture. You'll be living in the heart of Florence, so not on the outskirts, but right in the downtown center, along with lots of locals and the ability to explore the city. Our campus is made up of two buildings called palazzos, which is Italian for palaces. They were both buildings that are a couple hundred years old, owned by wealthy Florentine families in the 16 and 1700s. Our main building, the Palazzo dei Cartelloni, was owned by a family who the father was a pupil of Galileo, so that art and scroll work in front of the building is actually in dedication to Galileo. What's great about our historic buildings are that they have lots of light, have lots of studio space, whether you're looking to take drawing, painting, photography, sculpture, there's lots of space for these classes to happen. They're also very historic buildings, so it's a really unique opportunity to be taking classes in a very modern way, surrounded by history with paintings on the wall and original decorations in the building itself. There is also a backyard where some of our classes take place, such as our sculpture classes, but it's a great place for students to get together and have time to relax outside of the classroom. So again, we offer lots of different types of classes, from fine arts in painting, drawing, to sculpture, photography opportunities, as well as art history, conservation, lots of different design classes in graphic, web, fashion design, and Italian language and culture classes. As I mentioned, Florence is not just a historic city, it's also a modern, thriving city. And as a student, we really want you to get immersed in the Florentine culture. And that means exploring the city just as you're walking to and from classes, but also as you're going about on the afternoons and the weekends. You'll see lots of things like this, modern artists in the street, and that'll be kind of juxtapositioned against the historic decorations of Florence that still exist. It's very hard to turn a corner without seeing a statue that's a few hundred years old. The streets have this feeling of this old world kind ofness. And as an artist, we want you to come to Florence and let it really speak to you and influence you. We want to get you outside of your comfort zone as an American student on a college campus where you're really familiar, you know the faculty really well, you see the same students every day. We want to take you outside of your comfort zone, allow you to explore both the city and yourself as an artist and see what comes out the other end. Our other building is the Jules Madoff Palazzo, which is named after our founder, Jules Madoff, who is an American artist who has been living in Florence since the 60s. He opened the school in the mid-70s for American art students with the idea of American art students being able to come over to Florence and experience the rich art culture over there. Again, it's a very historic building. So this is actually a picture of what one of the ceilings in the classrooms looks like. And you could be sitting at computers looking up at the wall where a fresco from hundreds of years has been preserved. In both of our buildings are spaces for galleries where we have the opportunity for students to showcase their own artwork, usually towards the end of the year. But we also have rotating exhibits coming in and out for students to experience, including performance art pieces. So this is the Jules Madoff gallery in the Jules Madoff building and is actually showcasing his most recent works. But it is a rotating gallery, so we have faculty showing their work, staff, alumni, as well as local artists in Italy or artists from further afield, as far away as even in New York, the rest of the United States, and Australia. So again, garden in the back of this building. It's kind of ubiquitous to have these outside communal spaces in Italy, and it's a really great opportunity to experience that. Outside of the classroom, we want to get you outside of the classroom. We don't want to just have you come all the way to Florence, Italy, and be inside the classroom, again, like you would be able to be on your home campus. So many of our classes have frequent field trips around the city where, again, if you're in a painting or drawing class, you'll be out in the city being inspired by what you look at. Or if you're in an art history class, you'll be going to museums and visiting the pieces that you are physically talking about and having the opportunity to stand in front of them while you actually talk about them. Those all happen during regular classes during the week. And then on the weekends, we take you further afield. Many, if not all of our classes have Saturday or weekend long trips to places around Italy, such as Venice, Rome, Pisa, Bologna, and elsewhere. And many of these trips are included in the cost of tuition. Obviously, then, there are plenty of opportunities for students to travel on their own on the weekend, and getting around Italy and the rest of Europe is very easy and somewhat inexpensive. Other than field trips to see art and be inspired, we take you to visit with local artists who are professionals in their field to see them at work. So here a class is seeing a photo shoot by a photographer, but we'll also take you to see metal being poured for the jewelry making, metalworking class. We'll take you to the local marble quarry as part of the sculpture class, where you'll get to see how marble is actually extracted from the ground. And in our advanced stoneworking class, students get the chance to pick out a piece of marble that they're going to take home with them and become their final project. And this is doubly as cool as it sounds, because this is the quarry where Michelangelo actually got his piece of marble for the David, so you get to follow in his footsteps a little bit. New things that we're trying to do is expand the types of stuff that we're bringing to SACI and giving our students the opportunity to experience. So recently in November, we hosted a one-day symposium about the intersection of art and science, specifically with space and Mars travel. So not only did we invite artists to come and discuss their work and how it's influenced by science, but we had several different astronauts come and speak about how art influences their lives. So there's lots of rotating types of things like that for students to experience. We want you to get involved in the community, so there's plenty of volunteer opportunities. So here we actually have a picture of a few students who volunteered in a local home for adults with disabilities and helped them to make camera obscuras in this project. So there's plenty of opportunities to work with local people like this, or to work in local gardens, to teach English, paint murals in hospital rooms. We make plenty of opportunities available and will help students find other opportunities if there's something in particular that you have in mind. To get you really acquainted with living in the local community, we have you live in apartments scattered throughout the downtown Florentine area, rather than living in a dorm like you might be at your home campus. These apartments are full of SACI students, anywhere from 2 to 6 students in an apartment, and then the rest of the building will be local Florentine people. We only have singles and doubles, so there are no triples, and students will cook and prepare meals for themselves. We don't have a cafeteria or anything like that, or any sort of meal plan, so you'll get the opportunity to go and shop in the local markets, try out the local farmers markets, get to know the people and the grocers in your neighborhood. There's also plenty of opportunities to eat out in the local neighborhood, or even further afield on field trips. Eating out can be fairly inexpensive, and because of the lack of our meal plan and the fact that you'll be cooking for yourselves, you can really budget for yourself how many times you are able to eat out and how many different types of cuisines you're going to be able to taste. And then, of course, there's plenty of opportunities to eat gelato. So to talk a little bit about the different classes that we offer, the first thing to know is that we have no requirements on our end for what classes you need to take. So whether you're a studio art student looking to take just studio art, or maybe you're a design student who wants to try something outside of the design field, you'll be able to choose whichever courses are of the most interest to you. So in our design area, we have lots of different types of these types of design classes: illustration, graphic design, web design, fashion design, and even an opportunity to take a design internship. So the internship would be one of the classes that you would take. You would be paired with a local artist, and you would go and work with them for anywhere from 3 to 10 hours a week for credit. We do have plenty of different areas of contemporary studio, whether that is drawing or painting, black and white photography or digital color photography, different sculpture classes, stoneworking, and these are all available at multiple levels. So whether you are trying painting for the first time and want to get into a beginner's course, or if you've been doing it for years and would rather be placed into an advanced course, you'll have the opportunity to take whatever level best works for you. Our crafts area actually takes place at a third building, which I didn't mention before. It is not a SACI-owned building, but it is where all of our craft courses take place, called the Fuji Studios. It's a really beautiful space that if you're interested in taking a craft class, it's absolutely worth getting to experience how beautiful this building is. So in our crafts area, we have jewelry making, we have batik, serigraphy, book arts, lots of different opportunities to work with your hands and get a little creative. Our conservation area is very unique because it is one of the programs that, for undergraduate students, they get to learn and actually do the most. So most other undergraduate conservation courses, students wouldn't actually have the opportunity to work directly with what is being conserved or restored. And in our courses, students do get the opportunity to actively restore works of art that are going to be consumed by the public, including this chapel, which was restored by SACI students over the course of 10 years. In our conservation courses, students learn about restoration for paintings, going out on site, murals and frescoes, as well as archaeological artifacts. And we do pair with the local archaeology museum on projects. This is actually a photo of the tomb that our students are currently working on restoring. The art history courses are really amazing, and I do recommend that everybody try to take one because they take place almost entirely out on site in the city of Florence. This is the greatest class to be able to see the most out of Florence, to get to go to all of the museums in the city and to take advantage of as many SACI-sponsored field trips on the weekends as possible. And lastly, we do offer Italian language and culture classes. So all of our courses are taught in English. However, it is possible to take Italian language, again, at all available levels, so anywhere from beginning to intermediate to advanced. Our Italian language professors encourage our students to get out and practice their Italian with local students. So this is a photo of the cafeteria at the University of Florence, which is a local Italian-speaking university, and we encourage our students to go there and try to make friends with locals their own age and have the opportunity to not only practice their Italian, but give these students opportunities to practice their English. So if you are interested in seeing more about life as a SACI student, I would encourage you to go to any of our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, where we frequently post photos not only of the student experience, but the artwork that they're creating, alumni artwork, photos of the exhibitions going on, and more. So it really is the greatest way to get a sense of SACI and Florence and try to picture yourself there as a student. If you have questions about the application process that go a little bit more further into detail, I would be happy to answer them either at the end or via email, but it is a fairly simple application process. To apply, we just do need your transcript from your home school and then a signed study abroad advisor form. We have a minimum of a 2.75 GPA. If that is a number that concerns you, please let me know, as we'd be happy to try to ask you for extra materials to see if we could waive that GPA requirement. Currently, we are no longer accepting late spring applications, except for students who are particularly motivated to get their materials in quickly, as that program actually starts 1 month from today. We are currently still accepting applications for our summer program, as well as for this fall semester and next spring semester. For the fall, you have until June 15th, and for the spring, you have until October 15th. So there is still plenty of time to apply. And definitely, if you are thinking about studying abroad this soon, sometime in the next academic year, I would definitely encourage you to get your application in sooner rather than later. We do work on rolling admissions, which means as soon as you finish your application is as soon as you'll get an admissions decision. And then that'll help you be at the top of the list for course registration and housing assignments. SACI also has scholarships available, ranging anywhere from $500 to the full cost of tuition. It is better to check out our website, which is in the lower right-hand corner there, to see more information about scholarships. But do know that there are definitely scholarship opportunities available if you are concerned about cost. And so that is the end of my presentation. So as I had said before, there is a chat function available to, it should be to the right of the screen. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to write them into the chat function now, and I'll answer them as I see them. It should be to the right of the screen. Sorry about that. So I don't see any questions right now. I will hang around for a couple of minutes to see if any questions come up. If anybody has any questions about the application process, applying for programs coming up. Visas, we do have a visa requirement for semester programs. If you are thinking about coming for a summer, there are no visa requirements for that. So if there are no questions at this time, like I was mentioning earlier, you should have my email address since you were able to get this link to this presentation. Please feel free to send me questions at any time or to email our admissions email address. We are more than happy to answer any questions that you have. You can also call us at the office, and all of that information about our address in the office, our phone number, email is available at the bottom of the email that I did send you. So I am just going to hang out here again for a couple more minutes to see if any questions pop up. Okay, so it doesn't seem like there are any questions at this time, which is great. Hopefully that means that the presentation was able to answer any questions that you do have. I will be keeping an eye out in my email over the next couple of days to see if anything comes through from any of our viewers today. And also we'll be emailing out a link to this video to you tomorrow, so that if you do need to rewatch it or want to share it with any friends or family, you'll be able to do so. But thanks so much for coming and joining me this evening. Again, I hope I was able to answer your questions, and I hope that you have a great night, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much. Bye.